Hello and welcome Aries to your November reading. We're going to look into some themes for your November. Keep in mind these are collective in general, so receive what aligns, release what doesn't, okay? Never take on anything that is not yours, and never give your power away to a reading, a situation, or a person if you can help it, right? Keep in mind to look at your moon, rising, and Venus signs as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so for the month of November, Aries, we have the father archetype coming out. Okay, so for some of you, this could mean that your father is very important. Your relationship with your father in November is significant, is kind of in the spotlight. Okay, for November, some of you, if you're watching, you could be becoming fathers in November. That is a possibility here. But it could also be that you are healing the masculine energy within you at this time, Aries, okay? There's this stability, this strength, and actually the masculine energy is the outward energy, right? So it is the nurturing energy. It's the taking care of others sort of energy here, okay? But the father energy, especially with this tree coming through, is steadfast and strong, okay? So you might feel much more stable and strong and secure in the month of November. We also have the shadow and the light messages. So I do feel like there is kind of this interesting relationship dynamic that might be unfolding with your father where like there is maybe some emotional wounding that's going to be healing if you have a father wound that you're healing, or just your relationship with your father in general. There's healing and there's certain aspects coming forward to kind of be alchemized, to be addressed, to be understood. I'm actually feeling a lot of love and compassion coming through this card here. I feel like for some of you, you feel very different from your father. Your mindset is very different, or you're just very different people. And you're coming to kind of a bit of meeting of minds, it feels like, in November, of understanding of each other, of accepting the differences that you share, but also realizing what is connecting you. So that's for those of you that are a bit more estranged from your father, or maybe have a lot of differences, or there's differing opinions, you know. But if you've had some sort of challenging dynamic with your father, I should say, I feel like there's going to be a balancing, a meeting of minds, compassion. I'm seeing a father and a son, or it could be a father and daughter, like taking off, like wearing sunglasses. And it's like their perspectives. They're taking off their sunglasses and switching. Okay, they're switching so that they can see the world through each other's eyes, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that Spirit has showed me that. So you're understanding each other's perspectives more. Like I said, some of you watching this, you could be becoming a father in the month of November. Okay. Some of you too, I feel like your fathers could be going through a bit of a spiritual awakening, or your perspective has kind of opened up their eyes, okay, to more source energy. I'm not getting religious energy, but I'm getting like source energy, connectedness, the magic within nature. Okay, beautiful. So there's a lot of strength coming through here, compassion, love in the month of November. A tree could be significant, either a certain type of tree, or a tree could be very significant to your connection with your father too, I'm sensing here. So the other messages that we have coming through for you, Aries, is we have for your, kind of being reminded that you're a conscious creator, and for your own empowerment, we have external validation coming through. So what you hear is very important to you, okay? So be discerning about what you're listening to, what you're watching, but more so it's your ear chakras. There's something adjusting within your ear chakras. So maybe you go to sleep listening to some sort of meditation, or you like to listen to affirmations or podcasts, those that really inspire you. Okay. That's what I'm sensing here with this external validation energy, is the validating energy that you're going to be hearing. Some of you too, it's like there's a clearing happening in the ear chakras so that you can actually like receive compliments when you hear them. I'm sensing source energy will be bringing a lot of energy messages through your ear chakras as well. So paying attention to like what you're hearing is going to be very helpful for you. Some of you too, it is like it could be like, yes, your spiritual practice, like listening, maybe you do like hypnosis, meditations, things like that. But it could also be for some of you, like if you like to listen to books, you like to listen to things that excite you. Okay. So like, let's say, spicy novels. Okay. But it keeps you kind of in this creative and pleasurable and flowing mindset. Some of you, that's the message that's coming through here too. Like you're listening to things that you want to experience or bring about into your experience, almost as like a manifestation tactic, but it's also rewriting certain pathways within your mindset, within your brain. So there's a lot to unpack here. There's so many different messages, because some of you, it's going to be simply listening to like, your spicy books, and how that keeps you in this kind of focused, pleasurable, intuitive, motivated state of mind, right? So it could be that's what you're listening to. The other message for some of you, it's doing some sort of reprogramming, doing some sort of meditation work, hypnosis. Some of you, it's listening to, certain podcasts and visionaries and people that you look up to, people that inspire you. Some of you, you need humor and laughter, and so you're bringing that into your world. But there's definitely this sense of you creating your world and creating your reality through what you're hearing, and how that really is going to support you, okay, moving forward. Your music, okay, your music and how it's how it is. I'm getting so many messages, I'm sorry. You might be creating like certain playlists and things that assist you with your focus on projects or relaxing, or working out, getting motivated, things that make you feel good, things that support you, music that supports you. The other message I was getting, like binaural beats and certain like ASMR, things like that. You're kind of unlocking the whole pleasure of the ear chakras, it feels like, and the supportive strength of that as well, especially for some of you, like, and this could have to do with the father energy. If you deal with a father who's very judgmental or critical of you, especially around like the holidays, even if you are moved out, you may be, spending more time with family, making sure that you are surrounding yourself with those positive influences and support and guidance, and keeping your ear chakras clear. Like, that's such a strong message. So let's say if you dealt with somebody who is very critical of you, somebody's projecting, very judgmental, coming from a place of scarcity or lack or fear, that after you deal with that person, you sat back, maybe you listen to some sort of meditation or energy clearing to just call your energy back to you and release the energy that's not yours. So that's not like bouncing around in your brain, right? Or in your energy field. Because there's like a point of creation that's going to be a focus in the month of November. Okay, some of you, if like you're going to become a parent, you're going to become a father, you could be listening to podcasts about that or preparing. But there's definitely something about, some of you might have headphones, you might be getting headphones or just listening. Of course, if you're like out and about, be aware of your surroundings, okay? But there is that sense of your ear chakras being so supportive, sound being incredibly supportive for you, more than ever before. And this does have to do with like your manifestations, what you're creating, the mindsets, your goals, your even like your joy and your pleasure, your humor, okay? But sometimes when those around us are not bringing in that external validation, and yes, of course, we want to be internally validated, but there's something coming through here about praise or having that external validation and receiving it from sources or from people maybe outside of your immediate space. Like again, if you're not receiving it from those around you, making sure you're receiving it from the right sources, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So make those playlists, find those meditations, save those podcasts, whatever it is. I feel November, that's going to be very important for you because like I said, or, maybe some of you work in a space with like a lot of negativity, but you're able to listen to music. That's going to be like a spiritual, protective kind of shield to keep you focused on your energy so that you're not distracted by the negativity and drama of others. Okay. So music is your inspiration and your well, absolutely your friend here, right? I could almost say like music is your best friend in November, right? But it's not just music. It's what you're listening to. It's what you're choosing to listen to. Okay. Speaking of music, for the kind of grounded messages, we have music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if only we listen. So taking the time in November to find, we have the tree energy, forest energy, grounded, our roots, right? Getting nice and grounded, go into the forest, find a forest near you, a place that, you feel comfortable in, you like to go to, and take some time to just be and see what shows up for you. See what comes up within you, right? Maybe certain emotions and things will clear. Walking around trees, being in nature, being in the forest is an easy way to raise your vibration. It's an easy way to clear your energy. Like I said, you're going to want to like the energy of this particular forest, right? But there's a sense of you going for a walk in the woods. Okay, of course, always be aware of your surroundings, right? Finding a place that just feels right for you, sitting down, and just listening and just observing and just becoming a part of the forest. Because I feel like that's going to be opening up some, I want to say some interesting experiences, right? There might be certain things that you see that you wouldn't have if you were running on the trail, right? Or certain things that you feel, or maybe guides that come through, a deep wisdom from the trees. Obviously be discerning, right, of the messages that you receive, things that are outside of you, not necessarily inside of you, right? But it just feels like it's going to be very grounded and supportive here for you. And I've been getting this message for a while, Aries, like not just for you, but in general, like to get out into the woods, to spend time out in nature, to just be in that space and just breathe and exist and receive the wisdom that you're meant to receive. Some of you are going to be connecting with fairy energy, right? This is the melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if only we listen. Some of you are going to hear the energy or the messages from animals. Maybe for some of you for the first time if you never have. Maybe your clairabilities will start to open up a little bit more. Just make sure you're nice and grounded, right? Okay, what we have for the kind of main theme or kind of events that could be happening in November. We have the owl, good advice from a wise person. So this could be from an ancestor. This could be from somebody that you really respect, okay? Someone that you feel is embodied in their wisdom. They don't just talk about it, they are about it, or they experienced it and they went through the integration process and the alchemy. Okay, some of you think, it feels an alchemist. Some of you, this is an ancestor energy if you connect with your ancestors frequently. Some of you, this could be an animal and learning just from observing nature. It could be an owl in particular. Okay. But this is again about the ear chakras and listening, right? And there's this good advice. Okay, so some of you, if you have been wanting to ask someone's advice, don't hesitate. November, ask their advice, right? For some of you, this could have to do with a relationship. Okay. We also have the kite energy vacation. So you could be planning a holiday in November. Okay. Or just kind of need to take a little break. That could be, listening to books, audiobooks, getting away for even just like a weekend holiday. But the kite energy reminds me of a bit of freedom, a bit of play. A kite is obviously attached to a string, right? It's not completely up in the air, loose. So I don't think that you'll be going very far from home, but this does look like, planning like a weekend holiday. Just to play, just to enjoy, just to play and have fun. November is kind of in between the seasons of the holidays and all the, busyness that can come with that. We also have the hat. You'll be playing a different role. Okay, so this could be on your spiritual journey. This could be in your job. This could be, like I said, for some of you, if you're becoming fathers or parents. Okay. And we have the sun it could be rising or it could be setting. The sunsets could be very important for you in November. It could be quite beautiful as well. But there's change. There's change that is happening here. I feel like you're preparing for it, Aries. There's wisdom, there's support. And I feel like you're also, like I said, surrounding yourself with any sort of support that you require. When it comes to your relationships, we have integrity. The energy of integrity supports our choice to be consistently truthful and honest while being guided by higher, I just said higher, it says high, but I said higher moral standards. So this could be shifting within your frequency, and then this is something that you are now embodying as you navigate your relationships. And other people are starting, or learning to adjust too, because you have been shifting and changing here. Okay, you're standing up, you're holding your boundaries, you're speaking your truth, you're being guided to speak your truth here, okay, with those around you. Consistently truthful and honest, okay? But I'm also getting that if you see there's that beautiful green in the center, there's the heart space. So you're not just, snapping at people when it comes to honesty or the truth. There's compassion. There is truth, there is wisdom, there's compassion, and there's a wisdom coming through you in November, Aries, that, it could come from ancestors. It could come from, kind of a old soul self here. But what I'm seeing with this integrity and what, the communication that you feel is coming up here that's important to have, boundaries that you're setting, maybe you're being more assertive, but because you're coming from the heart space, through the heart space, because you're coming from a place of embodied, grounded integrity and love, people are receiving it. And I feel like they're receiving it well, because you see all that clear blue energy. Okay? You're communicating in a very clear way through your heart space, through your integrity, honesty, through your honesty and your transparency with others. And it's going to be supporting your relationships. It's going to be supporting your communication patterns. This is not just romantic relationships, although we're getting into that here. But this is all your communication. This could specifically have to do with the communication with your father. Okay, since the father energy is coming through so strong. your behaviors are shifting and changing too. There might be certain things that you used to partake in that now you don't have interest in because you've raised your frequency. But because you are in your integrity, you also have this expectation and feeling that for others to be in their integrity around you. Okay. And I feel like you'd be quite put off if they're not. And you can kind of feel through that, see through those sorts of things. And then some more boundaries might be set because of it. I also feel that this communication that is coming through you, Aries, is also through your crown chakra. It's through your higher self or your divine self. And I think that's why those that are meant to open up and listen to it and hear you will. Okay. Those that are not ready to won't, and that's on them. And then you can kind of decide about that connection, that relationship, that friendship, what have you. But I feel in the month of November, and that's, you're focused and you are in your integrity. I think you're taking yourself, we have playful energy here, balancing things out, but you are taking yourself pretty seriously, I'm feeling, in November. And you're walking your talk, okay? You're not just talking about things, you're being about it. You're preserving your projects until they're ready to, come forward. You're being selective about information, like who you're sharing certain things with, is another message that I'm getting here. Okay. Before we get into the love section, I do want to do a little bit of clarifying here. Let's clarify the new role, the hat. Some of you, this is you opening up to new gifts as well, new spiritual gifts. But what is this new role, this new hat that Aries will be wearing? Beautiful. It's a very authentic one. We have the Queen of Wands. It's one that people deeply respect. Okay, some of you, this does have to do with your respect. How you're respected in your community. You are really almost effortlessly shining here. You're a leader. Okay, some of you, you're going to be offered a leadership role within your career or within your spiritual circles or your spiritual path. You're embracing your magic. You're embracing your confidence in your skills, your gifts, your abilities. And you see it's, prosperity is being attracted to you, okay? You will have followers here. You will have those that really respect and appreciate, want to learn from you, that you're magnetizing in. Could be an abundance of earth signs for some of you, okay? For some of you, it could be if you have, been working that 9 to 5, what your new role could be is something a bit more magical, something a bit more tapped in with your gifts and your abilities. But overall, I feel leadership coming through. I feel, Aries, like leading up to November, you've done a lot of you probably did a lot of shadow work in October. There's been so much fear you've released, okay? And when you step into leadership roles, you have so many different, there's so many belief systems around that to unpack, right? There's the fear of failure. There's the fear of being seen. There's the witch wound you have to heal, which is the fear of being seen. There's the fear of judgment. There's imposter syndrome. There's so much coming through, but it's like the way that you're confidently moving forward. I feel like you've worked through a lot of this already, Aries, right? You're walking into a new era. You're walking forward with much more maturity and wisdom than you have in this past year. Okay, this year really transformed you here. So that's a great new hat to wear, okay? I love that. So when it comes to love and relationships, Aries, we have partnership. It's always been you. So for some of you, this is someone that maybe you've been at a distance from. This could be reconciliation. I definitely feel that there's someone here that wants to reconnect with you before the holidays. Somebody that just wants to come home for some of you, if this is a reconciliation energy. You see the light and the love that's between the two of them, even when there is space or there is separation. Okay. Some of you, this could be a secret admirer that finally comes forward and expresses how they feel. Some of you, somebody finally gets the courage to step up here and tell you how they feel, hoping that it will transform your dynamic. Okay. Some of you released someone. You completely released them because you didn't feel like they were ready for your timeline, for your level of your connection, your relationship. I feel like to be with an Aries, you have to, in many ways, have, quite a bit of confidence, right? Know yourself well, continue to evolve and grow, be motivated. And I feel like Aries, and for many Aries, like, especially if it's a masculine, if you're a feminine energy watching this and it's a masculine you're attracting in, you do want them to be direct, right? To take lead. And maybe you felt this person wasn't ready for you and you cut them loose. But I feel like they could be returning in November, because when I was just setting up this spread, I heard, I just want to come home. Like, I just want to come back home to you. Okay. And when I got into the other romantic tarot, now this one is not YouTube appropriate, but we have the 9 of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, the King of Wands, and the World. So we have the King of Wands that matches the Queen of Wands. And with the King of Wands card, I can show you this part. They're embracing. Like, they're so grateful to be together. But you see they're both wearing the gold cloak. They both have leveled up. Okay? So if this is someone returning, I don't feel like they'd be returning in the same energy with the same intention. They would have a frequency that matches yours. And then it feels like, then you're like, okay, you're ready. But of course, you would need to see that consistently. But I mean, the fact that I'm seeing King and Queen of Wands means there's that vibrational match energy. And then we have the World card. And the masculine energy is stepping over that victory wreath to be with the feminine energy. And the feminine energy is already feeling successful and joyful and loves herself and is fulfilled. It's almost like the Empress energy, okay? And so it's really beautiful. It feels like someone here is either, for some of you, somebody is returning, wanting to reconcile after there's been space, there's been distance. Some of you will decide in November or around November will be conceiving, right? If you want to start a family, but it could even be you're conceiving and it's a new energy. For some of you, it's a new next level of your relationship. Some of you, it's like this relationship couldn't get off the ground, right? Maybe because this person was holding on to things they needed to release, right? And it could be now, for some of you too, you're dealing with somebody who wasn't secure in who they weren't confident. So they didn't know exactly like how to initiate, hey, I just want to be with you, Aries. Hey, I want to be a boyfriend, girlfriend. Hey, I want to take this to the next level. They couldn't do that for a long time. And so I feel like for some of you, this person will be kind of stepping forward in their healthy masculine energy and initiating that and taking this relationship from being more casual to something that's more serious and passionate and ready for a new beginning here with the World card. Because the World card is like a completion. It's a very successful completion. Okay. So that's lovely. Let's go ahead and get some charms for my Aries viewers. When it comes to, let's say this person. Okay, I'm getting quite a few. And these charms are from Emerald Lotus Mystic. I love her charms. Okay, we have the Eye of Horus. Past life connection, perhaps. Okay, but some of you, there's, spiritual protection here. Or you can look up the Eye of Horus to see if there's anything else. We have the Cake, We have the owl again. So owls are definitely significant. They see through the dark. We have the fox that's kind of curled up and sleeping. There's that forest energy of just relaxing and taking time to just kind of blend in with the forest energy here. We have property of Davy Jones. X marks the spot. Okay. So like I said, somebody definitely has their sight set on you here, Aries, for a new beginning or to further things. We have the school bus. Again, some of you that are, going to be starting a family. It's also about, lessons and all that you've learned. I feel like you're reflecting a lot on this past year and the transformations that have come about from it. We have the letter X, so that could have to do with somebody's name, but X is also, I believe it's Gibo in the runes, which means gift. So there are gifts coming in here, I feel, for you, Aries. We have the tennis racket, but this could also be like any sort of paddle. Could be like pickleball, could be badminton. Sports could be significant here. And we have the dragonfly. Okay. So let me just take a moment to look at these. You both could have a sweet tooth, okay, or cake could be significant. Somebody could be bringing in cake for you as a gift. All right. When I was first pulling the charms earlier, I was doing it from a bag and it didn't seem right, but then I saw like the fangs come out. It's like somebody definitely wants to take a bite out of you, Aries. Okay. Your hunger could also be increased in November. I was really hungry today before I started your reading. The dragonfly speaks of flying backwards and forwards. So I feel like you're clearing timelines with the dragonfly energy. But also, again, if this is somebody returning and you have a history with them, you could be addressing certain things in the past, but only so that you can move forward, okay, in a way that works best for you here. Resting and recharging is going to be important. And the other message I get with this, owl energies can be protection from your ancestors, but I also get with this owl energy, Aries, is you have acquired a lot of wisdom this year. And now it's time to share it. Now it's time to spread your wings. And I feel like November is almost like a launching point where, not saying that you're going to hit the ground running or you're going to like take these huge, massive steps. But I do feel there are these life changes and shifts happening for you in November, Aries, that you've been preparing for. And you have this wisdom, you have this wisdom to share, or many of you, your intuitive gifts, your high priestess energy is really going to be vivid in November. Okay. So, if you do share your intuitive gifts with the world, you might notice that's becoming even more clear, and you're guided to continue to do that and spread your wings, because the owl can see through the dark, like the high priestess can, access that sacred information, right? Can channel that information. So that's another message that's coming through here, but there's the sense of not shrinking yourself, Aries. Continue to spread your wings, share your wisdom, okay? When you feel guided, of course, because of course the high priestess is quiet. So sometimes you'll just be observing and sometimes you'll feel like speaking up. But things are gently, I feel, taking off for you, Aries, starting in November. Again, with this, tennis racket here, maybe somebody likes to play tennis, but it's kind of like that volley back and forth, right? There could be that with that communication. But I feel there's also this back and forth energy of communication that's of importance for you in November, whether it's with family members, whether it's with work and career clients, this love interest, okay, the special person here. Somebody just beeped when they drove by. That could be a confirmation. So this all looks very wholesome, Aries. This looks very nice. It looks like a nice kind of wrapping up of, the year. And not that it's like, okay, January 1st, you're going to be, like I said, taking off. I think you're going to be listening to your internal rhythms. In the seasons, embracing the seasons, embracing rest and recharge here. But I do get for many of you, this is someone that you've taken space from. You've had a separation from this person. And I feel like it's only with that fox kind of sleeping there, it's maybe put them in a sort of like hermit energy so they could come to their own conclusions, their own clarity, their own wisdom, figure out what it is that they truly want, right? Okay, let's get some more messages. This is from the tissue box messages from the Hermit Tarot. Woo. For some of you, Aries, too, if you were in between two people, there might have been like a situationship that you knew needed to end. And I feel like when you do that, there will be a King of Wands that will come in that will resonate with you and be like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. Thank you, universe. Like there's that sort of energy coming through. We have the sacral energy coming through. Okay. So definitely your creative energy, being important in the month of November, your sacred sensual energy. We have the third eye as well. Some of you, these chakras are going to be very important to keep clear, to focus on, to learn more about. We have partnerships, contracts, and relationships definitely going to be highlighted in the month of November for you, Aries. We have Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorn could be significant here for you. We have the letter Q. Definitely Queen energy. You're showing up in that elegant Queen energy. We have the letter W. We have the letter S. This could be the first name of people that are significant for you here. Ooh, we have a Fortune. Good news of long-awaited event will arrive soon. Okay. Some of you, that's going to be some type of union or something for your career. We have Self, new and firsts, the first house. I feel like that's definitely something that you're preparing for, but on your chart, okay, you could look at your first house and see a little bit more about that information. We have the letter D. Some of you, your shoes might be important in November. We have sleepless, yeah. You might be feeling, with that third eye energy coming through. You might be very active intuitively in the evening time, but I feel like this person that you've been dealing with, romantically, has had a lot of sleepless nights. Okay. In being kind of separate from you or in reflecting on their own behavior. Of course, use your own discernment. That's just what's coming through here for this timeline. Everyone's timeline is different. Like I said, if there was somebody that you knew that you needed to cut ties with, Aries, I feel like you'll be doing that in November or maybe before, and this King of Wands energy will be showing up. Okay, which is somebody that you truly desire to be with. All right, anything else? I think that's it, Aries. That was really nice. So receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember to look at your moon, rising, and Venus signs. Okay, may you have a gorgeous month. Take the best care of yourself, and I will see you soon.